Dion, it's great to meet you.
Yes, it's absolutely good to meet you as well, Pamela.
And two Chicago people, I loved reading your bio that you're Chicago.
Yes, yes, yes. Big Chicago guy, born and raised.
Very good. And
Yeah.
I can't help but say I loved your Chicago Bears schedule.
Yes.
That was brilliant. Are you going to do another one of those?
I'm gonna do is this year I'm gonna just jam pack a lot of Chicago Bears content.
Good.
I think we're gonna be winning a lot this year, so we're gonna jam pack it in this year. Every Sunday we should see something from me representing the Chicago Bears.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm excited to see that. The other thing
Yeah.
I'm really excited about is this new series that you're on Netflix. And tell me a little bit about this show. Miss Governor follows Mississippi's first Black lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how your character of Basil Henderson, love the name, falls into this storyline. How do you work into this?
So Basil is pretty much Shamika's, which is Terry, who is the lieutenant governor. They're cousins, and I'm Shamika's boyfriend. So I'm just kind of there trying to get a job, doing whatever I could do to help the team. And I'm trying to fit in as her driver. So it's just a lot of back and forth. They don't want me to be the driver. Then they don't have nobody else to be the driver. Now I'm the driver. Then she gets put into this role and she's getting this, security detail. So now that comes with the driver and it kind of leaves me out like without a job. So I'm just trying to go the whole series with trying to solidify myself as a part of the team with a job and Shamika's boyfriend.
You wear a lot of different hats in it. It's
Yes.
a lot of fun too, but I can't help but also notice that there's some poignancy with this as well. Tell me about the importance you feel that this show represents in today's world.
I think it gives a insight on how it is, not just, being a woman, but being a black woman. And when you get into some of these higher places and, how you being treated in sometimes some of these male dominated industries or positions. And I think it just kind of highlights that. And then it's a powerness in it because, you see Antoinette, who's played by Terry J. Vaughn, you see her find her footing in her voice and she starts to speak up for herself and begins to show people why she belongs in this position of power and how she's able to help instead of just going along with what they telling her she should do or what they feel she should be doing. So I just think it's a power and it's just not just for women but for black women as well, just how your voice is important and sometimes you just have to use it in order for you to see how, important that it is.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. I've had a lot of fun watching this show. Mentioning a little bit about Chicago, you're a content creator, you're a stand-up comic. I understand you're coming to the Chicago Theater on September 3rd,
Yes, yes,
13th.
that's a big deal for me. Yes,
That's a huge deal. That is so
yes,
cool.
yes.
But I'm going to guess that Chicago is a part of who you are. How do you bring Chicago into your different roles? Or maybe I'm assuming something incorrectly.
You know what? Chicago, I don't think people understands it's a bit of Chicago everywhere in the world. I don't think we get the credit that we deserve, but it's so much Chicago and so many different places that you go. And the way that I carry it with me and some of the different, roles that I play, it could be something as simple as the Chicago slang, how we talk, how we walk. It's just the vibe. It's almost like, hey, when you see him, hey, he gotta be from Chicago with me wearing it on me. I'm so proud of the city that raised me, that birthed me. It's been so many other comedic greats that's come from this city. Bernie Mac, Dion Cole, I mean, the list goes, on and on. So just wearing that, that gritty, that tough, that funny, just wearing that on me and putting it into everything that I put into is always going to be a handprint of Chicago, no matter what it is that I do.
Very good. And I again couldn't agree with you more. I can definitely tell that it's not just Midwestern, it's Chicago.
In Chicago. Yeah, yeah. We're not gonna get it confused. You're not gonna think
Nope.
Cleveland, you're not gonna think Detroit. And I love those cities. You just gonna know that's Chicago.
Tell me about maybe how you and Mr. Perry mesh, or maybe you've helped each other, or tell me a little bit about how you guys are aligned.
So it's crazy because the first time that I met Mr. Perry was on set. Was the very first scene. I had seen him on Zoom, but we, hadn't really had like a formal introduction. So it was like my very first time was we was shooting the first scene, and I walk out on the set, and Tyler Perry's sitting right there. And he like, okay, let's go, action. And it's like, for me being this my, my first big, acting role, it's like, man, I watched this guy as a kid and he right here sitting in the chair and he said action, like we got to roll.
Right.
Um, Everything they say about him, about the type of person that he is absolutely true. I mean, even in the short time that I was working with him, he pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make sure that you get more for this." You know what I'm saying? Just because he's seen, what I brought to the table, how I was willing to work to, to keep, to add that element because my character for the show, Tyler Perry actually wrote this character in. He wasn't
Oh,
in the original pilot. He wrote this character in. So being able to get a character that he wrote in and bring it to life, how we worked together on building the comedy in this, I think it was incredible. We just kind of like hit it off right there. As soon as we got on set, like I'll freestyle and say something and he'd be like, "Hey Dion, add this to it, like bring that to it," and then he'll give me a piece, and now we piecing stuff together to kind of bring the comedy to life. And I just think moving forward as me and his relationship, continue to grow, hopefully in some other projects. TP, I hope you hear this. Uh, Hopefully in some other projects, I think, it can go beyond, what's happening on the screen, just stuff that we could do, for our community,
right.
for, other actors and comedians coming up. So, I'm just looking forward to building that relationship because, this was our first time working together.
Very good. One last quick question for you. As part two of the series comes out, what's one episode or maybe one scene that you're super excited without giving too much away? I don't
Okay.
like spoilers at all, but what's one scene or something that you're really looking forward to people seeing because you're like, that was cool.
Okay. So I would say, um, so for the people that seen it, they know that the governor had a heart attack and they don't know what happened.
Right.
We're gonna get into I'm getting in disguise to go find out what happened. So I'm not gonna say where I went or how I got in disguise, but I went to go find out what happened with the governor, and I went to go find out if he was dead or not. So, you
Okay.
know, they just gonna have to watch and find out. But it was like really different. It was like, I kind of felt like I was an undercover cop going to do some work and not a cop at all, but it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, this is cool. Like I'm in a character. It's that. But I can't tell y'all where I went, how
No,
I went, what I did. Y'all gotta watch it on Netflix.
absolutely. Deanne, thank you so much for joining me to talk about this new series on Netflix, Miss Governor, and can't wait to see you in Chicago on September 13th, too.
September 13th, we almost sold out. They just called me today. Only 145 tickets available left. We're gonna sell it out clean. Chicago theater. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And before I go, I just want to thank the city of Chicago so much for, being behind me, pushing me and supporting me. And I promise you all, for as long as that I'm in this business and I'm getting on those stages, I'm getting on the screens, I'm gonna represent the city of Chicago to the highest that it can be represented. I promise we're going all the way to the top.